Here we have the condemned cell, otherwise known as the room of no return. In this castle, every door and window has been placed. What we just walked past is the only original doors in the castle. It's made of pitch pine timber, woods at the core. You know your woods very well. You know pitch pine is one of the strongest woods in the world. I'll give you a chance to inspect it before you proceed. But there are 3 of such doors. First outside, second here in the middle, third here. A little over a minute here can refute the heat. Imagine those locked up in here with all the 3 doors. They were to die of starvation and suffocation. No food, no air, no light, no water, nothing until they die. Those kept in here were considered rebellious. Too aggressive as a man, you were locked up in the first of 5 chambers of the male slave line. Yours exceeded the aggression. You tried escaping, you fought with officers. You saw yourself a freedom fighter, you gave him a hard time in the castle, you were considered rebellious. First giving a good and a resounding eating at the courtyard, next driving here and left to die. And it was painful business. If they brought a number of men in here until the last man among them died, nobody left the room. Those that were strong and resilient enough to stay alive for days had to endure the stench of rotten and decaying corpses till they died. Dragged outside, they were displayed at the courtyard for those too stubborn, brought back to see what happened to those they could not contain. This was designed to serve more of a deterrent to the living and as well to break them mentally. Initially, a storage room converted to serve that purpose. It is to tell that at a point in time, rebellions in the castle became rampant. They had to institute a punishment scheme to calm them down. Thankfully, no one dies in here today. We'll have to move outside, but please watch your heads as we step out. Please watch your head. Please watch it. Those that were taking on waste, their tears, blood, sweat, they were repeated, vomit, spots, among other things. You will leave these ends intentionally untouched. If ever we get doubters in our groups, they are permitted to take samples, test to see if we get traces of humanity in them. You see the trenches in the middle of the edges, the windows, the holes on the walls are situated such a way that any time it bleeds, this is flat. And that is what was expected to carry away the easiest area to the trenches you see in the middle of the edges, right down. How many times has it rained? In a month, how many times would it rain? Living in the fields in here, most of them fell sick. Most of them. This is virtually what you missed. I'll pause, those with questions, I'll take them, and then we can conclude. I'll show you some literatures if you're interested in getting some. Indigenous slavery is an intellectual research about slave trafficking in West Africa. It tells the difference between the indentured servitude, what we practice as Africans, compared to the transatlantic slave trafficking. You realize that all trials were told in our OECC transatlantic slave trade, but I've been calling it all trials were told as transatlantic slave trafficking. Because what happened in here was never a trade. So I prefer to call it slave trafficking rather than slave trade. And then all trials were told to, instead of slaves, you hear me refer to them as enslaved Africans. Because some were royal, some were warriors, so we're free Africans. Unfortunately, we're enslaved. So that is why I choose to term this experience as transatlantic slave trafficking and the enslaved Africans. So the book tells the difference between the indentured servitude and all that, what we have here, the indigenous slave system in Africa, to the transatlantic slave trafficking. It shows pictures of the slave route they used, assignments where they took their last baths, they went to the skeleton they returned, among other historical sites. Homegoing is a story about 2 sisters written by Yadisi. One was a slave, the other was a mistress or merchant. Very interesting. And then Amma, a story about the transatlantic slave trafficking, how Europe and the world Africa among other regions. So So around the reception, I'll show you some. If you're interested in getting something, get copies from the receptionist. Officially, we are done with it. I'll go out the other questions you feel free to ask.
In this country, where people declare themselves related or kidnapped, they could set a whole village on fire, as the people around it